When you hit Icon Agent here in the legacy network of our EXP group, we have you on the show as a real estate agent. And I've got an incredible story for you today. 0 to 34 homes in just 2 years. Guys, you don't want to miss this one. I've got a great agent in the studio. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Justin Ford podcast, where I'll be releasing life-changing principles and valuable information focused on all things faith, finance, family, fitness, real estate, and so much more. Let's go! What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Justin Ford podcast. I have an incredible guest in the studio today. Got a great episode that we're going to be talking about. But before we get into that, I do want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by my friends over at Next Door Lending. Next Door Lending is a team of professionals that believe everyone should be treated as if they lived next door. The founders and team members have more than 150 years of combined loan experience, helping clients all over the country choose the best loan program to help you accomplish your goals. Next Door Lending is currently licensed in almost 30 states and has a team of over 100 loan officers specializing in helping you get the best rate and terms. And so whether you're looking to refinance your home or you're looking to purchase your next home, call my friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. Again, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in to the Justin Ford podcast. If you're loving the show, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe button here on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. If you're really loving the show, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. And if you haven't followed me yet on social media, you can at The Official Justin Ford. Again, at The Official Justin Ford. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, X, and also here on YouTube. Please help me welcome Mark VanderWal to the show. Mark.
Thanks, Justin. So great to be here.
Glad you're here, buddy.
Appreciate you so much. I appreciate all you do, not just for our EXP group in Grand Rapids, but just what you do for the industry. It's just, I was telling my wife the other day, I'm just amazed by how much you do.
Thank you, man.
Podcast, you're a national speaker, writing books. It's amazing. Still selling homes.
I appreciate it. And I get that often. People are like, how do you do
I don't know how you do it. I'm a high energy person, but I don't know how you do it.
And honestly, I don't either. I just do it. Yeah. I really do, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, excited to have you on the show.
I'm excited to be here.
First time podcast ever, right?
First time podcast.
Not just on my podcast, but first of many to come.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So, Mark, you're from Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
So we've had a handful of our Grand Rapids agents come down. Yeah. So you drove down.
Drove down. Been in Grand Rapids. Grew up in Kentwood. My parents still live there.
Yeah.
So all my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what's your favorite thing that you love most about Grand Rapids or that area?
Yeah, just the lakeshore. I'm a beach guy. I'm solar powered, so I love the sun, which is a little rough, for 6 months out of the year. But for those summer and spring,
and we're here. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming, man. The sun's out today. It was a beautiful drive in.
I feel like this winter really went by quick.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
And
honestly.
it was, I know that you guys get a little bit more over there just because you're by the lake, but I think it snowed major twice.
Yeah.
2 or 3 times, if that.
El Nino.
Right? Yeah. It's my favorite type of winter because I'm not a winter guy.
I am not a winter guy either.
I always joke and say if it was up to me and I had the opportunity to tell God how I wanted it to be,
right, I
would say, Lord, let's do winter from up until New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
New Year's Day, spring.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's great to have a little
snow. Take the winter during the, up until the New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
January 1, spring.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because after January, it's just pointless. It's gray skies.
February gets a little long. Yeah. So we like to make a couple trips to Florida if we can. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And this past February just wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was I got up to 60 degrees one time.
Yeah. It's supposed to be 65 next week.
Yeah. So if we could take that type of February every time,
right,
I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too, brother.
Yeah. So Grand Rapids, so born and raised in Grand Rapids.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
I always hear too, and Joy and I love coming up to Grand Rapids. We love our Grand Rapids family. That's what we guys consider you as our Grand Rapids family.
Same. We consider you family too.
Yep. It's just a different vibe on the west part of Michigan.
Yeah.
I think the people are more friendlier. They're more laid back.
Think so?
That's what we think.
Well, we're West Michigan nice.
West Michigan nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is because of that lake and you got the nice, but it's awesome over there. And we love coming up and seeing you guys. And so,
well, we appreciate having you.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know, one of the things that we have in our legacy network is anytime an agent hits Icon, as an Icon agent at EXP, we have them on the show to share their success and their story. And that's why, Mark, you're here. Congratulations on hitting Icon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And that's honestly, it's not an easy thing to do, to hit Icon, I mean, people strive for that and people shoot for that, but when you hit it, it really feels good, doesn't it?
It did feel good. Yeah. I mean, this was my second full year in real estate. Yep. So, I guess we'll get into that story more later.
Yeah. But to hit it, I mean, just not 2 years at EXP, 2 years in real estate altogether.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I had been licensed 8 years, but really left a full-time job. My company resigned as president. Yep. 2 years ago, January, and started in real estate full-time.
And you're crushing it.
Yeah. Thanks. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to have tremendous support with our group in Grand Rapids. So
I mean, incredible group.
Can't do it without that group.
And I love that. And I knew when Ryan was coming over, we talked about what could we possibly create together.
Yeah.
It was a group of amazing agents, and that's what it's become. Yeah. I think you guys are up to like over 40 agents in Grand Rapids area under the EXP Grand Rapids and just growing strong.
That's really part of my EXP journey there's so many great things about EXP that are spreadsheet functions, right? The math works, the technology works.
Right.
But people don't really go to companies, they go to people.
Right.
So once you check all those boxes on the spreadsheet, you go meet the people and you discover, like I did, this is the place for me. Right?
Yeah.
It's just an incredible group of people.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So before real estate, okay, what were you doing before real estate? Let's go back 20 years ago.
Oh boy.
You went to college, right?
I scraped through 2 years of community college.
Okay.
Yes.
And what was your goal coming out of college? What did you want to do?
I had no idea, honestly. I had, I came from a business background. My dad owned a couple businesses, had a technology company. But I liked flying. I liked planes. So I thought maybe I'll get my pilot's license and that's what I'll do. Yeah. So, I did a couple years of community college, looked into that and then looked at the price tag of that. And you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. If you don't have
other
scholarship,
options, military, right? And I wasn't going to do that. I'm like, well, maybe I don't like that as much as I think I do.
Right.
So, my dad at the time and my brother had a technology company. Yeah. I had always been a technology guy, still am. Yep. Pretty good at troubleshooting. So I went to work there.
Nice.
And I was really, for 20 years, I was really in the technology field.
Wow.
That was 30 years ago. Went back a little further than you asked, but so I got a number of certifications. I was a Microsoft certified system engineer, Cisco certified network administrator, so I had all these certifications, and I did a lot of. I was out in the field a lot doing work for customers. For a majority of that time.
That's awesome.
The company grew. I went on to lead the service organization. About 4 years before I left that company, I started another company that was we call it managed services. It was a new concept. Yeah. Fixed fee for IT services. I did that for 4 years and then just really felt it was like time for me to do something else.
Yeah.
Leave the family business, kind of do something on my own.
Yep.
So the next logical step was I became an executive producer for a movie. So,
okay. Nice. Wow. That's awesome.
I had a friend that became involved in a production company and at the time, Michigan had a film incentive.
So that's when it started. I was going to ask if that's when it happened because a lot of people started to get into the film industry once all those incentives
were. That's when it happened. Okay. So a good friend of mine got involved in that and he knew I was looking for something else to do. So that's what I did. I left and helped produce this film. So it took about 2 years pre-production, then filming, and then post-production, and it was a faith-based film called Genesis Code.
Nice.
And, yeah. And so I did that for a couple years.
Wow.
Decided one movie was enough.
Yeah. One and done.
I mean, we could do a whole podcast on that whole experience.
Yeah. But, one and done.
Then after that, my same business partner was on the board for a manufacturing company in Zealand at the time.
Uh-huh.
And they were trying to get like an in-house university started. They wanted to do a lot of e-learning and they didn't have any luck. And so my business partner at the time still is very degreed, PhD, a couple masters.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, let's tackle this. So they wanted someone to come in for 6 months and get their program started, help them find somebody to run it.
Yep.
And so we agreed to do that with my technology background and his PhD.
Yeah.
We really didn't have any idea what we were getting into, honestly. Instructional design is a whole thing when you're designing e-learning curriculum. We didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
But, one of my mottos in my life is, how hard can it be?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Right. Yeah.
So if they can do it, I certainly can.
Absolutely.
So we decided to do that. So
Yeah.
6 months in, we started getting some traction with the company. Some other companies in the area started approaching us about what we were doing and wanting to get involved. So the company just, fast forward 10 years, the company grew. We did a lot of work for Fortune 500 companies and large educational institutions throughout the United States.
Wow.
Yeah. And after 10 years, I decided that was I turned 50 a couple years ago, and I was just like, what do I want to do for the next 10, 15 years?
Yeah.
And, which gets into my story about how I got involved in real estate.
Yeah.
So I've been licensed for 8 years.
Okay.
And I initially got licensed because 8 years ago, my wife, who's actually good friends with Joni, and that's how I got to meet Joni. Joni's my sponsor at EXP.
Yep.
We're involved with a direct sales company, and for 15 years they did that, and they had suddenly closed. Yeah. Which left, my wife had done a fantastic job with that, very successful.
Yeah.
And it was a shock. It left her without a job.
Right.
And about that same time, she really became disabled. She got a really bad case of vertigo, hard to diagnose, and she was really disabled on the couch for like a year.
Wow.
And really wanted some purpose in her life.
Yep.
And at the same time, she was really physically disabled.
Right.
She comes from a family of people who like to do real estate. Her dad does a lot of development. Okay. So she's like, I'm gonna get a license for real estate.
Nice.
So she does. But at the same time, she's physically just really couldn't use a computer a whole lot. And as we know, there's tons of paperwork and computer work with real estate.
Yep.
So I said, don't worry, honey, I'll handle the paperwork. So I got licensed too at that point. So we both got licensed and it worked out great for a couple of years. Yep. She did great with it. But then she had started another company called Crown Free. It's a woman's clothing and apparel business that gives back to fight human trafficking. And that was kind of taking over her schedule. Yeah. Her health improved. Yep. We saw a great doctor, so things improved there. And so Crown Free kind of took off and kind of took over her full-time job. And then I
stayed in real estate.
No, I didn't stay in real estate. Oh, you didn't? That was 8 years ago.
Oh, so that was 8 years ago. Okay.
I stopped doing real estate.
Altogether.
Really. Altogether.
Because you got in to help her.
Yes, I got
and you were already a president of a company. Yep. You weren't really looking to...
President of a growing company. My plate was full. At night, I would come home and kind of handle the real estate stuff for her. Yeah. But no, I really didn't do anything. 2021, I had 0 transactions. Wow. So none.
So you kept your license in holding, though?
Kept my license.
Yep.
And getting back to leaving my job, turned 50, and I was just ready to do something else. Yeah. And really prayerfully considered my move and what I wanted to do. Really prayed about it a long time before the Lord said it's time to go. Yeah. And it's like you said, it's like, what do you say? People don't find real estate finds them, something like that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I mean,
most people don't plan to hey, I'm going to do real estate when I grow up, or I'm going to go crush it in real estate.
No, had no dreams of that. Right. But really had come to fall in love with the business during that part-time period of time when my wife and I were doing it together. Yeah.
Because you were already doing, service at some point, working with people. Yeah. It's because I tell people that's real estate is a people business. We're just selling, for sure. We're helping people, find a house.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell people my first job is really marketing and sales. Right. You got to get your name out there. You got to stay top of mind. But anyway, that's how I get into it. So in 2021, I had 0 transactions. Wow. So I decided, and it was January 2022 that I started real estate full time and just went after it.
So in 2022, in January of 2022, which was just a little over 2 years ago. Yep. You're like, okay, I'm going into real estate full time. Yep. When did you connect with Joni? What was your plan in 2022? Was it, hey, you had already connected with Joni and you knew what you were doing, or what was the plan?
Yeah, great question. So I connected with Joni. I think I had some early conversations with her late in 2021, kind of sharing the direction I thought I was going. Yep. And at the time, she was with another brokerage, a local brojokerage. Yep. And I didn't really know. I'm like, if Joni's there, good enough for me. Right. So exactly. I told her, once I leave, I'll join you at your brokerage, and we'll kind of get started together. Yep. And it was one day I was out for a run. And I was driving home, and there was a sign for EXP, and I'd never heard of EXP before. Yeah. So I went home, Googled them, and looked at the business model, and it really struck a chord. Like, I really love this business model. I mentioned my wife came from direct sales, you know, building a team, other ways to make revenue, the stock options. And I'm like, I think that's really the direction I want to head.
This was before Joni told you about it.
Joni didn't know anything about it.
Wow.
And it's a really interesting story because
that's cool.
I'm like,
I didn't know that.
I waited a couple weeks, you know, I prayed about it, and I really decided I'm going to go with EXP.
Wow.
And so I make this plan to call Joni.
Yep.
And at the same time, she has also discovered EXP, and she was nervous about calling me to tell me she was leaving her other brokerage.
Wow.
So we had
I never knew this part of the story, by the way. This is great.
Yeah. So we had this call, and I'm getting ready to break the news to her. She's getting ready to break the news to me, and she's like, you know, Mark, I found this other brokerage. I really want to tell you about it. And I'm like, is it EXP? She's like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was the winter of
2020,
fall, something like
coming
that.
into 2022. Yeah. That's awesome.
So then I joined in that following January. I think she did too.
Yeah.
Right around
January 2022. Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's cool how you kind of like discovered it. Because most people that have, I mean, not everybody's heard of EXP, right? So especially someone like yourself just getting back into the industry, it's not like you know all the brokerages.
Yeah, I think I just happened to see a sign on my way home, and I was curious, so I just Googled them. Honestly.
I think it's awesome too how you guys were planning at the same time to have the same call with each other.
Yeah.
So it was confirmation for her, and it was confirmation for you, and it was just like boom, we're doing
like
this.
God's timing. It was perfect.
I love, especially when you pray into it, right? Because that's what you said. Like, I'm praying. What do you want me to do, Lord? And when you really put things in God's hands,
For sure.
He lines that thing up.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way I run my business. I mean, I tell people this is God's business, and not in a health and wealth gospel type of way, but, you know, I feel like I'm called to this business. I feel like God's given me certain gifts.
Yep.
And I want to use those for His glory.
Yeah.
And I want to, you know, if we're going to do that, if we're going to partner with the creator of the universe, we should probably do a good job. I think that's the expectation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because He's a God of excellence.
For sure.
And so speaking of that, so 0 in 2021, you get in 2022, you know, what was your plan, right? Because obviously to go in 2 years to hit Icon, and we'll talk about what that looks like and what that is, but like you jumped in.
Yep.
Right. What was your plan to build?
I don't think I had a strong plan. Okay. Honestly, I knew I wanted to do it, and like I said before, I'm kind of the guy who says, "Well, if they can do it, I can probably do it."
Yeah.
So it took me a while to find my stride.
Yeah.
You know, I believed in consistency. I'm a pretty good time blocker, so I just really spent my mornings doing lead gen, whatever that meant back then, which was probably. I think I was probably doing video texts and sending postcards to anyone who would listen. Right. Just taking any appointment I can. You know, like we always say, it's a contact sport, right? So the most meetings you have, the better. The more meetings you have, the better. So that's really what I did. Yeah. And then I started doing more on social media. And I just made the commitment that I'm going to do this. I'm going to release a couple reels and 3 posts every, 5 pieces of content at least every week. Yeah. Forever. Yeah. So, and I think my mindset changed. It wasn't just like a thing I'm going to do because I should do it because it's marketing. It was like, that's part of my job and I'm going to do it. Yeah. So that's what I did. So I had good luck with just doing some social media stuff, just staying consistent with my newsletter. Yep. It's just all about consistency. There's no magic bullet. There is no magic bullet. I know you like to call in expires and FSBOs, and I do a little bit of that. Yeah. But there's lots of ways to be successful in this business, but you just need to do it all consistently.
And I love that, and that's one of the things that I say, right? Because I teach prospecting boot camp at Clever U, and expires and FSBOs is just one of the ways to prospect. And doing social media is prospecting. It's just a different form of lead generation. Right. Yeah. And I always say, whatever you do, you have to do it consistently. You're not going to immediately see results. And I think people sometimes get discouraged because they're like, oh, I did 5 pieces of content for a month straight and nothing happened. So I should go look for something else. Yeah. No. It's consistency over and over and over again until it starts to happen. Yeah. And so for you, right, when did you start to see, like in that first year, things starting to click? Maybe someone reached out to you and things started going.
3 to 6 months in.
3 to 6 months, which is what we say is about how long it takes.
Yeah. It's just staying top of mind with everybody. Yep. I want everybody to know what I do. Yep. And I want to be the first person they think of when they think of real estate.
Yep.
So, and that's
awesome.
It's just doing the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so speaking of that, when did you start doing the 5 pieces of content? Was that in 2022?
Probably 4 or 5 months into 2022.
Okay.
When I really became consistent with it.
Okay.
Cause it's not easy. I mean, you start doing videos for the first time,
right?
And you don't like the sound of your own voice,
Yep.
and you think you look goofy, but you just gotta power through that.
And it starts somewhere, right?
For sure, you got to start somewhere.
Like Joy, last night she had her first time ever public speaking.
That. Yeah,
and she was so nervous, and I said, just go up there. I said, your job is to prepare,
right,
and just go up there and let God lead you.
Yeah.
And afterwards, she said it was great, but she's like, oh man, there were so many things that I could have said or I forgot to say.
Right.
And I say, that's a part of it. But next time you go up and speak again,
right,
like you have to grow your craft and get better as you go.
Yeah, you got to start.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So you start doing the videos, and you do great videos, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
How can someone follow you on social media? What is your handle, like on TikTok or Instagram or any?
Mark VanderWal Realtor.
Mark VanderWal with Realtor, and that's on the screen. So definitely, guys, follow Mark if you want to see some incredible videos, and if you're especially learning or wanting to learn how to get into doing videos to grow your social media presence. Follow Mark. Mark, you do a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't do a lot. That's my goal, is to do more reels and more stuff. But so you started doing those, and then how long was it? Tell us a story about a random person that you didn't know who just reached out to you through one of your videos and said, hey, I want to buy or sell?
Yeah. Great question. It was actually a lender who I didn't know.
Okay.
And it was one of these posts where they're looking for a lender, right? Yeah. And of course, it's like a feeding frenzy. There's 5,000 agents that come out of the woodwork. They're all posting. He had posted, I think, on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had saw that. I'm like, I'm not going to be part of this frenzy. So I reached out to him directly. I sent him a video directly.
Yeah.
And he had seen some of my content.
Yeah.
So he, you try and win before you arrive. So I think that's what social media kind of does.
It does.
It gives you some industry. It shows people you have industry knowledge and
credibility. Like, people buy into you before you even, usually when someone reaches out to you because they're following you, you've already won them. As long as when you show up, you're the guy in person that you are behind the camera, you've already won.
Authenticity is really important.
Yep.
So anyway, he ends up calling me. We have a conversation, and we have a great relationship to this day.
That's awesome. Yeah.
We've shared a lot of business together, so it's been a fruitful relationship for sure.
I love that. And so when you're doing these 5 pieces of content, now that you've been doing it almost 2 years, because when we prospect on the phones, we can kind of track numbers. We know that, hey, if I make 25 calls and I do that 5 days a week, I should set this amount of appointments. Have you learned the cadence of, like, hey, if I put out 5 videos a week and I do that every month, is there have you kind of tracked numbers to say, hey, if I do this, I should expect one person to reach out or get a new buyer, seller?
I really haven't. It's just, for me, it's all about staying top of mind.
Just putting it out there.
Yep. I try not to concentrate too much on how many views my videos are getting.
Right.
I think, again, it's consistency over time. So I think we can get distracted with that. My content, I just try and provide people some good background and knowledge
and value.
Real estate
you really
and
come
value.
from a place of value and contribution.
Yeah. So I don't really I did some of the goofy stuff early on, but I just don't think that's true to who I am. So I don't really do that anymore. And it's really just about me providing value.
Yeah.
So that's what I concentrate on. It's like, what do I want people to know? Or what do I think they're curious about in real estate? So,
and that's good because, when you put stuff out there, you never know who's going to see it, right? You never know. It could be, and it usually takes a handful of times before somebody reaches out and says, hey, I'm ready to buy or I'm ready to sell. But what I love is, and I heard John Maxwell say this at our recent Glover U event, when he was talking about whether you're building a downline or, you're marketing for business, is to be authentic because you attract who you are, not who you want.
Right.
And I love that you said that because, a lot of times we just try to be like Mark, right?
Right.
Or be like Justin or be like Jeff or whoever, when really people want to be attracted to who you are authentically.
Right.
And we're not going to attract everybody. Like, I had a girl on here, Jordan and Pete Wilson, pastor and his wife. She's a influencer on social media. Yeah. And she said initially when she started, doing her videos and stuff, she had to say, who is my ideal person who's listening?
Yes.
And for her, it was stay-at-home moms. It wasn't every mom. It wasn't single moms. It was stay-at-home mom and teaching them how to do crafts or whatever from home. She's got over 70,000, followers on her. And it was like, but she had to be authentic, and she knew she wasn't going to get everybody.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times with social media, people create something because they want to get everybody.
Yep.
Not everybody's going to be attracted to you. Not everybody's going to want to work with you.
Yeah, that's kind of the way you start out, right? 'Cause you want to make everybody happy.
Yep.
Everybody's have fans all over the place, but really, it's just about finding your people.
Yeah.
Some people are not going to like you. That's life.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. So
Yeah.
just really about finding your people, the people who are attracted to you and what you have to offer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. So you finish 2022 and then you start 2023, and now you're like a year in.
Yep.
You've already built this consistency of, what you're putting out on a weekly basis. 2023, obviously last year, the market changed, right?
Yeah.
Interest rates went up, things started to, pull back a little bit. Sales are down, and you still hit Icon. How did you, and for those of you guys that are listening, let me tell you what Icon is. So here at EXP, there is a recognition that you can get called Icon Agent. It's where you hit your cap of 16,000, EXP's cap 16,000, and then you sell 20 additional homes. How many homes did that equal for you last year? How many homes?
34 transactions.
So you sold 34 homes last year. For year two, phenomenal.
Yeah,
the average real estate agent only sells 4 homes a year.
Yeah.
You sold 34 in your second year. That's incredible.
Yeah, thanks.
Super
Great. Blessed.
Yeah. And so 34, how many homes was it until you hit Icon? How many homes did it take you to sell to hit Icon?
I think like 12.
12.
Yes.
So
12 transactions, and I had 22 more after that, I think.
So you capped at 12, and then you hit 20 more. So right there. So basically right around the same.
Yep.
So, yeah, because you hit Icon right at the end of the year, didn't you?
I just got it in. Yeah.
Just got it in.
I had my last closing on December 28th.
And hit Icon.
Yep.
Give me some right here, man. That is awesome. Because I've heard of agents like missing Icon by 1.
I know.
And here's what Icon means. At EXP, you hit Icon Agent, and you have the ability to earn your entire $16,000 back in the form of stock.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You get $8,000 immediately. You go to a couple events, you get another $4,000. You give some cultural points where you give back to the community of EXP, and you can earn your $16,000 back in the form of stock.
It's an incredible program.
Yeah. And you're acknowledged as it's a high achievement, for EXP. Like you're selling 34 homes is, if the average is 4, selling 34, even if it's not your second year, maybe you're 5 or 10 years in, is still incredible.
Yeah.
And so EXP says, you know what? We're going to acknowledge you, and we're going to reward you. And so, how did that feel knowing that, in year 2, you were able to achieve that? Because there's people that have been around a long time that haven't.
Yeah, honestly, I just feel super blessed. I mean, the Lord's been super good to me, and it's work. I mean, it can be a grind.
Yep.
But it's all about, for me, it's just about mindset.
Yep.
It's really about having an abundance mindset.
Yep.
Because there's opportunities in every market. That's what I always say. It's like if I got caught up in interest rates or the market's down, but homes, people buy and sell homes every day.
Every day, no matter what market it is.
You just got to go find those people.
Yeah.
And make them your people.
That's awesome. What's the goal for 2024?
I think it's probably 12 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many transactions does that equate to?
Well, did about 9 million last year. So I'm guessing it's got to be probably close to 40 plus.
Yeah. That's awesome. What's your average sales price over there?
It's like 340.
340.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's cool is, I work with real estate agents all over the country through coaching them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know not every market is the same. And so now Grand Rapids area is a big market. How much of that West Michigan do you cover? Because like here, we go an hour out. Like I'll go an hour for a listing. I cover 5 different counties.
Same. I'll go about an hour out.
Okay.
So like I've had a couple listings in South Haven. I've helped a couple clients in South Haven.
Yep.
I've done a deal in Pentwater.
Yep.
It's not my sweet spot, but as a friend of mine, so I'll drive up there for them.
I love that.
So West Michigan is what I say.
Yeah. That's awesome because a lot of people, they just like stick to their pocket. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in a market like this where sales are down and things are a little tougher, I heard Jeff say one time, he's like, a lot of times we stick to our certain price point or our certain location. He said, but if you had to drive from Detroit to Grand Rapids to pick up a $5,000 check, would you do it?
Every day.
Like all day long.
All day long.
So it's like, to take a listing an hour and a half away, especially if you're like struggling, like go make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, we all want those $1 million sales, right?
Of course we do.
There's just not that many of them.
There's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really love my first time home buyers too. I have a ball with them. It's so great taking them through the process and taking the stress out of it, making it fun.
you can never be a second time, first time home buyer.
Absolutely.
You'll always remember that one
Yep.
first time home buyer experience. And it's awesome that
Yep.
so now obviously you're 2 years in, you're getting referrals, past clients,
Yeah.
and it's growing. And yet at the same time, you're still doing your 5 pieces of content per week.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I block schedule. So I try and maintain that schedule no matter what's going on in my life. And,
Yep.
like we talked about, it's all about consistency, right? If you can stay consistent, the results will also stay consistent.
Yep.
I think successful people do every day what, maybe unsuccessful people do occasionally.
Yep. And that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
If you want to look at extraordinary results versus ordinary results, it's the word extra.
Right.
It's just that little bit of extra.
Yeah.
And when you do that over and over again, results show up.
Yeah.
So for the person that's listening in right now, and maybe they're, because I think social media is hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to do social media.
Yep.
And I'm not saying this in a negative way because I know it's hard work, but I think people perceive social media as easy. I don't have to pick up the phone and be told no. I don't have to go door knocking. I don't have to do that. But again, it goes back to, it's not just, shooting a video. You got to make sure, like, you're not just whipping open your camera 5 times a week and saying whatever you want, like planning, preparing. What would you say to the person who's considering doing social media, or maybe they're trying and it's not working? What would you say to them to really give them some pointers on how to do what you're doing?
Yeah. I mean, the tough thing is you have to have something relevant to talk about.
Right.
So that's always tough. So I would say get some sources. Keeping Current Manners is great. Keeping Current Manners, if you don't know about that, it's a subscription available to real estate agents, or I think there's a free version. So you get ideas from that too.
Yep.
News articles, do green screen. The toughest part for me is always finding the content and making it relevant.
Yep.
But it's also doing the work. It's staying consistent, because a lot of the time I don't feel like doing it, honestly.
Right.
I had 6 showings yesterday, and I came home. It was 8:00, and I'm like, I have to do a reel now.
Right.
So, getting the energy to do that and stay consistent, is sometimes tough.
Right.
Yeah.
But knowing you need to do it is what matters, and making sure that it's done, because the minute you skip one, you might skip another one.
Yeah.
And you might not get the results, because that one reel that, let's say, you would have skipped last night could have been the reel where somebody picks up the phone and says,
right,
hey, Mark, I need your help.
It's cumulative value over time.
It is.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love what you said too about, finding content, that's relevant and that matters. So Joy has been, because she's licensed now and she's starting to do her own thing, is what she's been doing is finding other reels that are already getting a lot of views and a lot of attention, and just creating something very similar.
Sure.
It's not even ripping. Because everybody, what do they say it is? What is the saying about,
no original thought.
Something like that. Or it was like the greatest form of flattery or something is
duplication.
Duplication, right? Yep. And everybody duplicates something.
And I do the same thing.
Exactly.
If you want to learn this craft, you follow other realtors.
Yep. Yeah, because if it's working for them, obviously people are, and again, they're following you, not just so much the content, but it has to be relevant for them to follow you. Because if you're just down there, saying a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter, right? Yep. But they first buy into you, and then they like your message, and then they continue to follow.
Right.
So you got to have both, right? People got to like you. And there are people that will like you. Somebody out there is going to like you no matter what it is.
People do business with who they like, know, and trust, right?
Yep. And then number 2 is you got to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. You got to be a market expert for sure.
100%. Especially even like someone like yourself who's only 2 years in, but anybody that watches your videos wouldn't think you're only 2 years in, because you're studying, you know what's going on, you're professional, and you're a hard worker, and you're consistent. For me, when I started working for Jeff's team, I was 30 years old, and I was young. Nobody knew who I was. I had no sphere of influence, but because I studied my craft, I worked hard, and I was consistent, I earned people's business and trust.
Yeah.
And that's important in this business.
Yeah. You don't have to be the smartest person.
You don't.
No. But you can outwork just about anybody.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Hard work always pays off. Definitely.
It does.
So the goal is 12 million this year.
Yep.
Is there anything you're adding into your business this year that's different, or are you just doing more of what you're already doing? Or
so I haven't really spent a whole lot of time building my team.
Yep.
So that's something I hope to do this year.
Nice.
I've got a new team member this year who just started a couple months ago. I really wanted to just, it's about focus for me. Like the first 2 years, I really wanted to just focus, build my own business.
Yep. Lay a foundation.
Yep. And if you're going to recruit team members, they kind of want to know.
They want to see what you're all about.
What you're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was kind of my goal for my first 2 years. So I hope to bring on some more team members and build my team and
nice
and get that going. I'd like to do some more investing.
Yeah.
I flipped my first house this year.
Nice.
Which was a lot of fun. So my son and I did that together.
That's awesome.
He wants to get more involved in real estate too. So that was really fun for us. So we're just we sold that off market, so actually closing in that in like 3 weeks.
That's great.
So that was fun. So more investing, building my team.
Yeah.
Keep doing what I'm doing.
This industry provides so many opportunities.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
There's so many ways you can go with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why people love EXP is because it's not just a, one size fits all, right? There's so many different ways that you can go even in EXP.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about with EXP? Obviously, you just hit Icon, so you got the stock. What is it about this model that even before Joni, told you about it that said, this is where I want to be?
Yeah, I think the growth and the energy
and
just the people. I mean, we've got a fantastic leadership team.
Yep.
We've got people like you, Ryan, Joni. Yep. I mean, it's just the energy is just fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going to a couple events this year.
Yep.
Owner my stock, going to events.
Yep.
I started mentoring this year.
Nice.
So that's something I'm
certified
excited
mentor.
about.
That's
certified
great.
mentor. So yeah, I would say those things are probably the things I'm most excited about. I always love the events, get to see you and see some great speakers and get excited about the year. So
yeah. And speaking of events, they just started doing the regional events, which are more local. And then we have our EXP Con in Miami, which is in October. And
I'm excited about Miami.
Waiting to talk to Ryan to see if, a group of us can like Airbnb a mansion or something and have us all stay, there for,
I love that
for
idea.
that EXP Con.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah. Be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're looking to grow your team this year.
Yep.
Obviously, you're looking to do more business. If there's anybody listening right now that wants to learn more about your team, learn more about you or connect with you, obviously we gave your social media handle. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you? Is it through social media? Do you have a phone number, an email address, a website that people can get a hold of you?
I'm widely available. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yep.
Phone number 616-813-9373 and mark at markvanderwal.com. So so I think that kind of covers it.
It does. And so if you're a real estate agent in the West Michigan area and you're looking to join an incredible team, Mark, you're looking for agents, right?
I am.
Got to be the right agent though.
Right agent.
Yep. But if you're interested, definitely reach out to Mark. If you are considering EXP, right? Because you don't even have to have somebody local to join your EXP team. We're growing and expanding all over.
I think we're 90,000 agents now, right?
90,000 agents, 26
states,
countries.
26 countries.
Yep.
So
Yep. And
incredible opportunity.
Yeah, if you're looking to learn more about EXP, reach out to Mark to definitely find out about EXP. And, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, right, reach out to Mark. If you're looking to, because there's a lot of people that move to West Michigan.
Absolutely.
Or if you're a real estate agent listening and you have a referral for West Michigan, definitely reach out to Mark. I mean, there's a lot of great things happening over in West Michigan. I know we have people that go back and forth from Detroit to West Michigan. We send up referrals and then referrals come down to us. And it's a great place to live up there.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. One final thing for maybe somebody that's listening and struggling right now, or, obviously real estate's hard. Maybe somebody's kind of going back in business, but, wants to stay in the business or create success. What's one thing that they can do, even from a mindset standpoint? Because I think it all starts with mindset to make sure that they, have a great year in 2024.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the biggest thing for me is just, I said it before, this is the Lord's business. So, a lot of this is out of my hands, but, again, he's given me gifts. And I want to use those gifts for his glory. So I would say for me, that's my purpose.
Yeah.
So, but I think you need to find your purpose. Why are you in real estate?
That's so good.
What are your goals?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's really good. If you're a new agent or have been in the business only for a short period of time as well, and you're looking for ways that you can sell more homes, check this system out that I personally use to sell 100+ homes a year. Are you a real estate agent looking to sell more homes this year and make more money but not sure how? The answer is simple. You just need to talk to more people. Being a real estate coach and teaching thousands of real estate agents all over North America and personally selling on average 100 homes per year, the thing top producing real estate agents have in common is that they use systems and technology to get in front of more people and have more conversations about real estate. And the system I use every day to ensure my success in real estate is RedX. RedX is my secret weapon for success in this competitive world of real estate that allows me to take 7 to 10 listings on average every month. RedX provides me with the highest quality homeowner lead data, phone numbers, and industry-leading communication tools to connect with homeowners actively looking to sell, giving you the edge to be the first agent in the door. RedX's triple line power dialer will boost your conversations, connecting you seamlessly with more motivated homeowners ready to sell, allowing you to leave pre-recorded voicemails effortlessly for those that don't answer. But that's not all. Say goodbye to time-consuming neighborhood farming. RedX provides you with phone numbers and addresses for homeowners in your area in seconds, making prospecting a breeze. How about investors and landlords, pre-foreclosures, for sale by owners and expireds? RedX is your all-in-one prospecting solution. Don't miss out on the opportunities waiting for you. Take the first step towards increased production, more listings, and long-term success. Visit sellmorewithredx.com right now to start your prospecting journey with the most accurate contact information on the market. And because you're a listener of my podcast, RedX will waive your $150 setup fee. Go to sellmorewithredx.com and start selling more homes today. This was an awesome episode.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for the invite.
I'll say this. For a first-time ever podcast guest, you would never guess this was your first time. You did a great job.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
It was great.
And congratulations on all your success, Mark. You're doing a phenomenal job. And so for you guys, again, for tuning in, if you want to reconnect or connect with Mark for the first time, definitely reach out to him. This guy knows what he's talking about. He's crushing it on social media. And again, for a 2 years in to sell 34 homes, that's phenomenal, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode. Before I let you go today, I do want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by my friends over at Next Door Lending. Next Door Lending is not just a sponsor of our show. This is our personal lender. This is who we entrust all of our buyers with at the Justin Ford Real Estate Team. They have over 600 five-star reviews. They have a perfect A+ Better Business Bureau rating. And if you're right now looking to refinance your home, I want you to call my friends over at Next Door Lending. If you're looking to get pre-approved and purchase home this spring or summer, call my friends over at Next Door Lending. And if you're a real estate agent looking for a great lender partner, call my friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. If you love the show, guys, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform or here on YouTube. If you really love the show, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. And there's 2 things that I always leave you with before I let you go. Number 1, it's not how you start. What matters is how you finish. And number 2, with God, all things are possible. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.